Good evening, wherever you are. Good afternoon, wherever you are. And good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to today's show, Face the Nation GH, Trending Issues and Rebuilding Ghana. Today, as I always say, this is a structure of the show. You begin by welcoming the community. Then we do the second segment of the trending issues. They give you a take on each bulletin if the need call for. Then we move on to talk about the topic of the day, which is rebuilding Ghana. Today, under rebuilding Ghana, you call back to Ghana Supreme Court. The court actually convened to hear the case that involved Dr. Ayeni, former Attorney General. The contempt case now almost cited, which was prior to the February 16 ruling in our court in the mind. Or give you a statement to be. Then, after that statement, call court on February 22nd. That's when you find the contempt. This is the court instructed him. So what actually happened in court today on February 25th, 2021? Court, a convening and what actually happened. That is going to be our rebuilding Ghana. So we'll be back in Ghana Supreme Court. So now let's begin. After just a quick break, we'll welcome the community. Then we go with the trending issues. Then we'll take that issue. Welcome back. Let's start with this. Kwakwanyide's wife speaks about how she was sacked, baggage thrown out of matrimonial home. I don't want to go so much into domestic issues. Kwaku Asare knocks holes into ways Supreme Court handle Ayeni's contempt. We will get into that issue under rebuilding Ghana. I came to support Ayeni as the best man at his wedding. Lawyer Emmanuel, not knowing they were classmates and they were good friends. I hope today they are. It's not enough to oath, which is former Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. It's not enough to oath Professor Boateng, small-scale miners. Council of State cannot fight corruption. Victor Azim tells Akufo-Addo. You see, a lot of people have even cast doubt about the role or the importance of the Council of States. Because almost certain allowances, almost enjoy privileges. They dip into the nation's purse and they support you. But you see, it's just a rubber stamp. Unless, of course, we want to hold them accountable. And if you want to do that, you will assess the performance of every leader. So it means decisions of leaders normally making solely, they are part of it. And you hear the last 4 years, the last 8 years, the last 16 years, now hear the composition of the Council of State members now. It means leaders in the performance, the executive head, which is the president, no performance. So the advice, if you're more, you can tell the kind of council of elders are not at that time. The same thing. Because even though the constitution grant a mandate to your man, now they are being charged, they said they should help with the fight against corruption. But the point is, how effective is this body? You see, it's about time, say, nation, there were a lot of economic challenges now. You started minimizing your costs. You may be for direct benefit in brain nation, let's say cut it. Because if you get into it, the kind of benefits that one will start asking, say, what is the usefulness of this body? You see, sometimes it's good to obey our argument, and that's what trans and no ISR analysis, and then you decide if as a nation we need that body or not. All right. Yesterday we talked about the COVID vaccine nearby Ghana, and once more, I commended the current administration, which is Akufo-Addo and the entourage. I mean, it was a very swift and a very decisive decision. But all in all, this 600,000 dose of AstraZeneca COVID vaccine, I arrived in Ghana yesterday. It was free, purposely to support about 20% of our population, of our 30 million people. No? I don't want a situation so because we are government and Ministry of Health, even though they did very well. Send a crew be brain and to me uncle bargaining for. But I donated their mom from COVAX. I think the government did very well, but I don't think so will be planning any budget to be out on it. Once more lobby or more initiative, Right now the issue have to do with Ghanaians. They have to change their mindset. See, be taking strong mass education. Now, Yamama Sati, I encourage you on tiki. See, this issue with LGB, it's like on a gas. Okay, it's like on oxygen. It's back and forth, a banoma canoma jai. But the trend that a taking in a enye, that violent approach now, air bano, and no mumna emboa. Because saying this is what is happening. Say PKC use violence and they resolve here. Rather, we give them more powers because at that point, you'll be violating on their fundamental human rights, their right to association, their right to movement. And the moment that right and there's an almost champion court now, so almost succeed here. This is what is going to happen. A lot of people will be confused that the state institutions are rather recognizing them. There are two things here. We have to be very careful to separate our rights as people from our agenda or our cause. Our person impose that on Ghanaian culture, our tradition, and our custom, because that is very un-Ghanaian. You see, and I think it's about time society, your parliament, you're coming out clearly with laws. Executive no movie so swiftly on that, not coming out. So this is the position of the country. But money who say I say yes support it, I say yes support it now. And you maybe I have to be very open to it. All right, from legally, Mohammed's petition was not handled well. Lawyer Obribwan is saying, Excellency John Dramani Mahama petition, it was not properly handled. Anyway, you see, it may call for different opinions in respect to this, but Obi proceedings in the Biana will beg to differ on what Obribwan is saying. Oko further, I think I'll try to base an analysis on the number of motions or deny under the complaint, it has compelled him to say this, but notwithstanding me first video, to test the efficiency of every lawyer, okay? It has said these lawyers are good or these lawyers are bad, You can't solely depend on their skillful nature, but the composition of the judges or the justices will also play a role here. I leave that to the general public to decide. But so based solely on said their reviews have been turned down, their motions have been turned down, solely into their handling the case. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one who observe it. A lot of Ghanaians observe it. And let's leave it for Ghanaians to decide. From Haruna Idrisu, I'll say LGB dehumanizing. I have never seen a male goat running after another male goat. Haruna Idrisu. See, that is a very remarkable statement. This is how the public leaders should start talking, because this is un-Ghanaian. This is what our society stands for. Even legal laws in power you making or statutes, we consider the tradition, the custom, and the norms of the people. So this is what we expect from our people. Where else do your children know aside Accra? Joe Wise asks Okaikwe Central MP. I don't want to get into the story. You see, well, one of the major challenges I won't take the COVID-19 vaccine, Joseph Yamin, a former Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports during elsewhere Mohammed's administration. Joseph Yamin has joined some Ghanaians kicking against the COVID-19 vaccine, saying he will not risk his life by getting vaccinated. You see, his comment comes after Ghana received the first 600,000 doses. It's very tough, irrespective of the effort of the government. It is also a very, very it becomes a very challenging issue. My defeat came as a shock, but I shall return, Titus Glover. You see, yesterday I hope so we discussed this. They've given an assurance to say you will be paid for any harmful side effects of the vaccine and Ponsa Achiano. Okay? I think so COVAX for the banner, even though omo de mamo on grounds as like omo de mamo donity, you know. But still almost have more assurance. You know, I don't think say it's that bad. Because no pharma company will want to see say yeah, bring a big lawsuit against the product. Union directs our general staff of Kotoka International Airport to withdraw services. I mean, this thing almost seems on and off, on and off. So I'm not surprised I feel they finally manifested. Techima is South. Court adjoins NDC case indefinitely. All right. Fuel prices gone up 4 times in 2 months, according to the COPEC. Right to Information Commission requests public input for the RTI bill. Frida Prempe, I say we will work to provide adequate housing for rural communities. From Samuel Jinapo, Akufo-Addo remains committed to Galamsey fight despite challenges. In Sia Asari, deployment of the COVID-19 vaccine to begin next week. All right, let's get into this. That's what happened on February 22nd, as stated earlier. You charged Dr. Ayeni for contempt. Now, contempt issue, I'm charging Dr. Ayeni. This is exactly what the man said. See, that was on February 22nd, 2021. Time Dr. Ayeni proud to the ruling now a buy on the 16th, no, and I'll respond here. It will appear before Ghana Supreme Court, so I'm not finding a contempt, you know. Or more charge Dr. Ayeni said. Not Dr. Ayeni a press conference, you know, was a spokesperson on the petitioner's legal issue and a to the Supreme Court, you know. Ruling nearby, and I say the conduct of the Supreme Court justices was more or less like say no more predetermined case in that. It's like they had a mind made up already. Looking at the ruling on the by, and in short, that's exactly what he said. Okay, so to almost prepare to appear before Monday, which was February 2021 or 22nd February. No, and now court no finding Ayeni for contempt. And you know, the lawyer Oba anybody apologize on behalf of Dr. Ayeni. Oba apologize, you know. And yeah, almost instructed in some media non-retracted statement and non-render apology. Then he comes back today, which is 25th February 2021. And also appear before Ghana's Supreme Court. So, yeah, started the analysis from here. When we simply say contempt, or say contempt of court, often referred to simply as contempt, is the offense of being disobedient or disrespectful towards a court of law and its officers in the form of behavior that oppose or defies the authority, justice, and dignity of the court. Simple as that. So, baby be Etia court and its officials. It could be from the clerk, it could be from their security. A bit go to the extent to say a bit jeti or mutumi so anasa or manimunyama anasa or dignity, you know, you'll be charged with contempt. And, you know, basically that's what happened. Now say in most cases, you know, see at that point, you know, it's not just a charge has been leveled for you to come and open defense because you're already at fault. And you know what we've seen in previous contempt trial, and say, no, apologize it, or retract it, or admit it, then you apologize. Then you see what the kind of punishment the court need to be mount. In some cases, court meet them. In some cases, the court can fine you, or they can do both. They can fine you and still let you go. We have a civil contempt and we have criminal contempt. But you share statement, Dr. Ayeni Acheampong, okay, now, or even though this is where the analysis is coming from, Dr. Ayeni, a spokesperson, no, now will make his statement, you know. And unti and a man who believes that the Supreme Court should come clearly into so after major counter response if a trendy baby I like this professor so much because he's very practical when it comes to the analysis in the BBR. Now make quote about 3 or 4 paragraphs near the analysis, then I will end it here. I say the Apex Court on Thursday, February 25th, discharged Dr. Ayeni in contempt case against him. This is exactly what Ayeni said. I say, after Supreme Court ruling on February 16th, right? And even though a spokesperson now will speak against, like, no, will give you almost side of the story and actually what happened in court, I say the decision of the Supreme Court not to allow the petitioner to reopen his case to subpoena chairperson of the first respondent electoral commissioner, Jane Mensah, was predetermined. As more it's a normal they've already made up their mind before even come to the courtroom say, yeah, my more reopen case so that you get opportunity to subpoena Jane Mensah to come and testify and I give account about the public service or render Ghana. And, you know, this is asama okay, you see. And I could also challenge almost say, or you should counter, say Supreme Court, okay, this was the heading. Kwakwasari knocks holes into way Supreme Court handles Ayeni's contempt. Now, her arguments are Asarimeki and Ebini. I say, the court deemed scandalous and brought contempt charges against Dr. Ayeni, a case which was heard Monday during hearing. A remorseful-looking Dr. Ayeni said he had written a letter to the court apologizing for his comment. Counsel for the contempt noir, which is Dr. Ayeni, also pleaded on behalf of him. I mean, basically, he charge you will be contempt. This is what happened. But Kwakwasari shared the take, I say, Professor Asari wrote on his Facebook page that, trust me, I get it. I know I'm not supposed to ask questions. The contempt noir himself has apologized, and the court has purged him of his contempt. So the matter must be allowed to die. Well, I demand. Only the national kinds of the actual thing has been done. Okay, while offend the court, while be patch or and he went further to say this. I think the apology jurisdiction is anti-intellectual and not helping the citizens to know what they can say and cannot about the Supreme Court, Supreme Court justice, and proceedings before court. And no matter the public needs to know, and the public must be educated on legal issues. Say, kasa ben, nyoma ben na omu ya, and get to that very grave line, that line, and show disrespect to the court, the justices, and proceedings before court. I say, for avoidance of doubt, the contempt in this case, as an MP, who is also a spokesperson of a party appearing before the court, he is also a lawyer and a former attorney general. He said, I'm surprised at the Supreme Court itself having sat down 5 key. Okay, we that issue, no, and I'll jump into. I hope say I believe we've discussed it some time back. Say, it is for a filing petition, no. The Supreme Court narrow issues into five major issues. That's what the court was supposed to decide. Inti Ahim said, na asare na adieno. Okay, while organizing thoughts ni. Okay, we'll talk about that too. And let's still stick with the contempt issue. Or say, what exactly is contemptuous and why? What exactly is contempt noir purging himself of? The court says is scandalized by the above statement. What does it mean? Do the justices feel disrespected? Obisa question. Do they feel remark interfered with their ability to do their work? What exactly is the evil that the court has found with this statement? You see, so when you are doing the application, you take the definition of the contempt. It's stated earlier, no? The man kasaya or kasai. So what shows say why you be affected the integrity of the court? And now say justices why you be assure obuoma in here. This is what Kokwasari is telling us. Or say Yembusa Supreme Court now. Okay. I say, can a spokesperson of a party not say the court rulings mark of predetermined agenda to rule against his party? He's asking another question. Because you see, the issue here is different because at this point, Dr. Ayeni is spokesperson into no aside the feelings and what actually transpired in court, and already NDC petition legal team has raised issue about bias, unfairness, and as a spokesperson, so convey such message now. Household Mikatin say he's in contempt. I say, would the remarks be acceptable if uttered by a non-lawyer? A lawyer who is not a spokesman of the party is trying to draw the analogy between, say, being a lawyer and as a non-lawyer, no Kasama party. So yes, no Kasasa, would the court accept that? An MP who is not involved in the proceedings, etc. Are the justices suggesting that such out-of-court remarks can prejudice their judgment? He's asking another question. Where does the bar stand on contempt versus free speech? You see, I don't want us to get into this issue, okay? In as much as we have free speech, it must be exercised with responsibility. But, say, court, you see, that's a very tough argument. You see, where free speech is concerned and where contempt issue is concerned. Unless, of course, you don't want to draw the line between two. There is. Because even having a free speech doesn't necessarily mean that will be used to infringe upon somebody's right, okay? I have a free speech. Even free speech does not encourage incitement or hateful speech, or fighting words. But Asari is trying to bring another argument here. I don't want to get so much into it. In the last paragraph, I say, what is the legal academy saying about contempt? What should the law students be taught about contempt? I find such charges and apologies to be unsatisfactory, and unhelpful to my understanding of the proper contempt of contempt. It is time for the courts, he was referring to the Ghana Supreme Court, to state the legal basis of its contempt charges. The Academy and the bar must insist on it, not go along to get along. Look, the most practical constitutional lawyer, or the PCBR, but I'm so rushed to go read. Because you know what? Aside he being trained in the United States, he's very practical. Whatever he reads, he's trying to apply. Because you see, when you say you charge somebody contempt, the notion and the perception has always been like, it's very broad. Once you've been charged, you've been charged. But what Asare is trying to tell us today, and he said, so at least some more charge you will be contempt. More money the exact offense. Okay? Because we want to say, I make a statement, was predetermined. It's so broad. On this note now, I will say it's almost 3:30 p.m. I will say a very big thank you to everybody. And not forgetting, with international politics, and I'm forgetting yet, I can assure everybody, say, China will get back into that. There's going to be a lot of issues, and a lot of issues has happened for the past 2 weeks. We'll get to talk about it. I wish you all the very best.